Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel.
Our channel.
My channel. It's my account. Anyways, if you are a new subscriber, welcome back. If you are not a new subscriber, please subscribe. We would love to have you. Because we have fun things and interesting things coming your way. Today we are bringing you a new thing to add to the channel, and this will be our true crime weekend, I guess, because Wednesdays will be our hunt a killer. So today we are going to be talking about the acid bath murders. Have you ever heard of the acid bath murders?
No.
I've heard of them, and I think I've watched a documentary, or it was on one of my shows that I watch on a regular basis, but I've heard of them. So this is about John George Haigh. I may be saying the last name wrong. I'm sorry. But he is arguably one of Britain's worst serial killers. So, was he a calculating swindler who murdered for profit? Maybe he deliberately did this to portray himself as a crazed lunatic who needed to drink human blood so that he could be able to plead insanity. Or was he indeed just a modern day vampire?
John was born on. Hold on, I just brain fart. July 24th, 1909, in Stamford, Yorkshire, just north of England. His parents were both members of the Plymouth Brethren Christian sect, with a hellfire ideology based on sin and punishment. Religion basically dominated John's childhood. His father had a scar that he claimed was punishment from a sin that he had committed, and God gave it to him. John was so afraid to sin that he wouldn't get the mark, but when he did sin, he didn't get the mark. So he began to develop a profound hopelessness that would characterize his adult life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So upon leaving school, he worked briefly as a car mechanic. Although he loved cars, he had a lifelong aversion to dirt.
Germaphobe.
So it's kind of weird that he was a germaphobe, yet he's working as a car mechanic, where you notoriously get dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So later on, out of habit, he began wearing gloves to avoid contamination. He soon left that job and worked briefly as a clerk before finding a career in which he was able to exploit an already well-developed ability to embellish the truth. Before long, he was fired from that job after money went missing. Then in 1934, he met and married Beatrice Hammer. 4 months later, he was convicted of fraud and sent to prison. While he was incarcerated, Beatrice gave birth to a child, and she immediately gave the baby up for adoption. Once John was released, he left Beatrice and completely ignored her and acted like he had never been married at all.
Now, y'all don't tell me that's petty. That's some petty nonsense right there. Prison seemed to shock John back into the straight and narrow. He started a dry cleaning business until his partner died in a motorcycle accident. And John then moved to London, where he worked in an amusement arcade owned by Donald McSwan. A year later, he struck out on his own.
Put it down.
With...
We have notes.
Yeah.
We can't memorize nothing.
With a scam that resulted in him going back to jail for another 4 years. While he was there, he came up with a way to commit the perfect crime. And her perfect understanding of the law allowed him to think if the police couldn't find a body, the killer couldn't be convicted of murder. He decided the best way to do that was to dissolve a body in acid. He experimented in prison workshops, managing to dissolve a mouse in acid.
A mouse. Okay, we're going in it. Sorry, I had to pause it to deal with my child. So once back out, he put his plan into action. Meeting up with McSwan, he lured him into his workshop that he was renting. John killed McSwan and dumped his body into a large barrel of acid. The plan worked perfectly, and John tipped the sludgy remains of his friend down a drain. When McSwan's parents became suspicious, John came up with a story that McSwan had fled to Scotland to avoid being drafted for the war. When the war ended and McSwan didn't come home, his parents got even more suspicious, in which case John took drastic measures. He then lured McSwan's parents to the same goddamn it, brain fart to the same workshop and killed McSwan's parents just as he did to McSwan. He then forged letters so that he could be able to sell off their substantial estate. That's messed up.
Yeah. This man was a whole new kind of thinker. For the next 3 years, he lived off the money he received. But thanks to his gambling habit, money ran out quick and he had to find a new victim. He found Archie and Rosalie Henderson, who met the same fate as the McSwans. He managed to get his hands on their estate. It took John less than a year to go through that money. By February of 1949, he was unable to pay the bill at the hotel he was staying in, called Onslow Court. It's popular for rich widows.
Jesus, he had a major gambling problem. He went through that money in a year.
Yeah.
Less than a year.
He persuaded one of the widows, Olivia Duran Deacon, that he had a business plan that she may be interested in.
Stop.
She agreed to go with him to his new workshop in Surrey, just outside London. Once there, John shot Olivia in the head.
Jesus.
Yeah. Removed her fur coat and jewelry and dumped her in an acid bath. Within 2 days, a friend of Olivia alerted the police and mentioned that she was planning to meet John. John claimed she never made it to the meeting, but his manner was suspicious, and they decided to investigate more. The police learned about his workshop in Surrey and got a search warrant. They found several clues that Olivia was there and obtained evidence from a local shopkeeper who identified John as the man who sold him Olivia's jewelry. They promptly brought John in for questioning. This is where it gets interesting.
Got some issues.
Yeah.
So once John was in custody, John bragged that Olivia would never be found because he dissolved her in acid. She's not going to be found. I dissolved her in acid. So believing that, there would be no body, no crime, right? So he thought that he would never be able to be charged for this. Police dredged through the sludge that was in his workshop and found several pieces of human bone, along with part of Olivia's dentures. Uh-oh. So the game was up for John. It's over. The jig's up. So he quickly switched up his tactics, and aiming to plead for insanity, he confessed to 8 murders. That would be the 3 for the McSwans, the 2 Hendersons, and then 3 unidentified. He claimed his motives were not financial, which clearly his first set of murders were. Stop. His first set of murders were clearly financial. But then he said that, it wasn't financial because he was tormented by dreams dating back to his religious childhood. These dreams gave him an unquenchable thirst for human blood, which he drank through a drinking straw.
That's nasty.
The defense found a psychiatrist to attest to John's insanity, but the jury was not convinced.
Good job for seeing through the lie.
And he was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death by hanging. The sentence was carried out at Wandsworth Prison in London on August 6th, 1949. So he was born 1909, so he was 40 years old?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly 40 years old at the time of death. Gee. And it sounds like he spent most of his life in the system. That's crazy.
Yeah. But oh well. Justice was served to his victims. That's all that mattered in the end.
So, we're going to be doing these kind of videos every week, but we have a question for you. Whereas this video, we told you who the murderer was. We told you the person's name. How would you like it if in the next video, if all we simply stated was the title of the thing, which is the next one is going to be All in the Family. Would you like us in that video to tell you who we're talking about? Or do you want to guess in the comments who you think it is, and then the week after we tell you who it is before we start our new video?
It's up to you guys.
It'll make it kind of fun on your part to where you're able to, you know, be involved with us. You know.
Or you just want to just watch the videos for information.
Yeah. So, if we do not have any responses by the time we do our next video, we'll just do the next video just like we did this one, where, you know, we will just lay it all out. If we have some responses, then we will go with our responses. I do read all of the comments.
And I will as well.
So, we will reply to comments. We will read them, and we will take all of your advice or anything into acknowledgement. So, we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for next week for another true crime video. Which
will probably be uploaded on Friday.
It'll either be Friday or Saturday.
One of those 2 days. We haven't 100% set a full-time schedule down for y'all yet, but we're working at it slowly and surely. We're also going to be adding some other content to the channel. Wednesdays will be our Hunted Killer videos. Friday or Saturday will be the true crime videos. And Monday, to start everybody's week off in a fun and upbeat way, we're going to just throw up random videos. Y'all give us some suggestions of what y'all want to see on the channel, and we'll listen to y'all.
Now keep in mind that the Hunted Killer is not every single Wednesday. It will be probably every other Wednesday, if not, you know...
Every 2 Wednesdays.
If not a little bit further, because unless I expedite it, it won't be here until a month later. Which I have been expediting at least a box every now and then.
Because we have an addiction and we just can't get that monkey off our back.
So we are getting ready for box 3, which should be here on Tuesday. And we are looking forward to marking off at least another suspect, maybe 2. Who knows? Tomorrow we are going to be rearranging the room and dedicating an official setup for the background where you don't just see a bookshelf and, you know, a clothes basket and all that. We will have an actual background, and our murder board wall will be in the background so that you're able to see our wall.
But hopefully not read everything that's on it.
Yeah, I would like to try to make sure that it's not, you know, to where you can read anything. And I will be sure to take down the dry erase board and put that to the side, because if anybody is playing the Hunted Killer curtain call, I don't want to give away who the suspects are that have been marked off. And that's exactly what is on the dry erase board. So that will be taken down so that you cannot see it. So that's going to be all for this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Bye. You gonna say bye?
Bye.
Say see you next time.
See you later.